A trip to the warden's mansion wasn't arduous, but it sure was terrifying. As Moose walks by the cell house, he felt creeped out. The stench of pure malice seeping through those walls. The mansion also was a terrifying one, but in a different sense. Terrifying, how luxurious it was in a no-man's land, yet still stood like a beacon that guards the island. With a knock and a bell ring, the wardens welcome Moose.
Young Mr. Flanagan.
Yes, sir.
Just making myself a cup of tea. Care to join me?
No, sir. Yes, sir. I want to join you, but no, sir, I don't like tea.
The warden nods.
My library is upstairs. The door's open. You go on ahead.
Yes, sir.
Stepping into the mansion felt like a new terrain for Moose. Carpets and terracottas, paintings and furnitures, as if it was extravagantly designed by the best architect. If you could import them, here that is. The soothing sound of opera music relaxes your nerves as you head upstairs where the darkened library is. Moose wandered around the library until the warden entered the room too, and closed the door behind him.
Sit down, Mr. Flanagan.
Moose sits down, but accidentally falls himself on the wooden arm of the chair.
Ow! Ouch, sir.
As the warden tries to say something, someone knocks at the door.
Yes?
Piper walks in.
Piper, did you want to sit in?
Yes, sir.
We'd be delighted, wouldn't we, Mr. Flanagan?
Yes, sir.
Piper, you feel free to chime in now.
Piper walks in and sits down beside Moose.
When convicts first arrive on Alcatraz, I speak with them personally. Let them know what I expect. I don't usually talk to new civilians, but Piper felt I should make an exception in your case.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what you did in Santa Monica, Mr. Flanagan, but every personnel must follow the rules. Exactly, precisely. Piper, tell him what Alcatraz is.
So, Moose, we're a small town here, with the exception of the safest and biggest jail a man could ever dreamt of. The inmates themselves are also notoriously A-list criminals, the worst of the worst, and we make sure no mishaps will happen in any event, especially in a breakout. Got it, Moose?
Alright, Piper. But why exactly must you summon me here? If it's about the rules, sure, I'm all ears. You don't want to waste your time on me, do you?
Alright, I know you have a lot to offer, but before all that, we have to better understand each other.
Alright, sir.
We have rules here to keep people constrained or we risk endangering ourselves and everyone else. Rule number 1. Contact with convicts is prohibited. Work details are on the docks.
The warden walks up to and opens the window to a bird's eye view across the cell house.
But they are accompanied by a guard at all times. You may not under any circumstances approach them or speak to them. Women are to only wear anything but modest clothes. Some of these convicts have not seen women in 10 or even 15 years. You can never trust a con. Nobody came here for singing too loud in church. Do you know what the word conniving means, Mr. Flanagan?
Sneaky, tricky, similar to foxes but in human form.
That's right. Remember that, Mr. Flanagan. Conniving men with no sense of right and wrong. Number 2. Do not enter an area that is fenced off. Number 3. No visitors unless you made your request in writing 1 week prior to the visiting day. Number 4. Do not speak to any outsiders about what goes on here, especially Al Capone. Say a word, and hordes of reporters come crawling out of the woodwork, ready to write stories of foolish and dangerous lies. Know anything about Capone, Mr. Flanagan?
He's a gangster from Chicago, killed a lot of people on Valentine's Day. Arguably the most powerful underworld figure with cartels all around the country.
That's right. Therefore, the point of this prison is to keep these showy criminals out of the limelight. If I find out that you're running your mouth about Capone, I'll ship you back to where you came from so fast. No second chances, not even a chance for your sister's school.
Please, sir, don't bring her into this. I promise to never mention his name, as I also risk the only chance of my sister finally having an education.
Fair enough. You must walk through the metal detector upon entering and leaving the island. No dogs, cats, or pets of any kind. No play guns, ropes, metal pipes, or anything that can be used as a weapon. No old hangers, nails, glass, or anything that is made up of metal goes out with your trash.
Why is it, sir? Aren't the trash thrown out to the furnace and charred?
Because these men can fashion something out of anything. Devious minds that will do anything to achieve freedom, which is escape. Once, a group of men escaped through salvaged raincoats and plastic spoons. No way we're gonna let that slide.
Those are the 5 main rules here in Alcatraz. Of course, there are numerous unspoken rules, but we're not discussing them today. Now, my daughter told me she's introduced you to the other children here. Is there anything I missed, sweetheart?
The school projects?
Oh, yes. Piper's a straight A student.
Oh, Daddy, you don't have to always mention my scores.
Her mother and I are so proud, but sometimes keeping track of all the projects she has going is a challenge for her. So you'll be the only other Alcatraz child attending Marina School with Piper. And she often needs help carrying her projects and other whatnots to school. We were hoping, as a favor to us, you might be willing to help out.
Yes, sir.
If you have any problems at all, my door's always open. Welcome to Alcatraz.
Yes, sir. Yes, thank you, sir. I'll see myself out.
Bye, Moose. See you at school tomorrow. Don't forget to review them before you forgot.
As Moose walks out the library and returns to his home, he keeps repeating details that he had with the Warden, saving the conversation as to never forget a single thing about the rules in Alcatraz. He can't risk his sister's education and the safety of others around him.
Kalau bisa sih sekalian aja 10 orang. Bentar. Woi, itu kan. God. Atau nih,
Cyber nih, tiba-tiba biasa.